Hello everyone and welcome back to another MSTR chart planning update video. Like we always do, we're first going to get started with Bitcoin to get a better understanding of what MSTR could potentially do and to keep an eye on short-term risk as a reminder as well. But before we actually do get started, guys, remember everything in this video is just my own personal opinion. It is not financial advice. So to go ahead and get started, earlier today I made a video going over Bitcoin a little bit more, so I'm not going to focus on the overall structure. I already explained that earlier today. Instead, I'm going to go over the more short-term stuff. So Bitcoin for a while has been trading sideways and has been doing a really good job at supporting the not supporting but not or been doing a really good job at holding support within these liquidity walls down here, as well as this fib extension supportive area that I have in red. So it continues to hold that channel, including the resistance we have up here. It continues to respect this resistance and move within this sideways channel. We did have a little bit of a triangle pattern form here. We ended up breaking out, but again got rejected by that resistance lines up here with the liquidity walls, and it continues to move sideways, but this time in a little bit more of a narrow pattern. So it looks like this may be getting ready to break out in either direction soon. I do believe there's more reasons for Bitcoin to go up than down, so I am leaning more towards this continue to fluctuate and move to the higher side. The short-term risk, though, is that even if it moved down, does not mean it's going to have a break of structure and move down. We'll have a break of structure once it breaks either over or below either of these liquidity walls that are acting as support and resistances. Again, I do believe it is more in favor to the upside because it is currently consolidating more sharply within the more premium side of this, including also being above the 120 moving average. And if we were to come down, we still have the 120 moving average as potential support. And then we also have, enough room where it could come down and try to meet once again with this supportive liquidity walls down here. If this were to happen though in the short term, and this is going to make sense in MSTR in just a moment, but if this were to do actually, if this were to come down and try to retest the support areas down here, then it's going to be very short-lived in my opinion. I believe it's not going to last very long, and it's going to go ahead and recover back up to the resistance wall that we have up here very quickly. And then shortly after, if that were to happen, then it would just start pumping up into this potential resistance area I have right here. This area is going to, when the price finally reaches up here, which can happen very soon, or it can have a little bit more of a supportive retest before going up, but both paths lead into the same direction at the end. This area, if we can consolidate in it or just quickly break up into the more premium section of this zone, then that's just going to create, a bit more confirmation if we can hold it that we are going to start moving up higher, and then we can start retesting, or not retesting, but actually finally break into and test this imbalance area right here that can act as a potential resistance. And it can act as a magnet as well. We've seen it happen here, we've seen it happen here, and a lot more times in the past. So I won't be surprised if we reach this area sooner rather than later, but we do have to get confirmation of a breaker structure of the price holding this area at a minimum, so then we can build more bullish momentum. So the way this all correlates or translates into MSTR, oh, and by the way, next leg up area up here, this is where I believe the price will be very soon, either by the end of February, or if it doesn't finish February in this area, it would at least break into this area and get rejected sometime before February. I do believe that's still possible, but in the more realistic sense, this imbalance area is very much still alive and very healthy. We just gotta finally break into this area so we can start having a little bit more of a breaker structure confirmation to the bullish side, if that makes sense. So now with MSTR, we are seeing, so we saw imbalance here just like in Bitcoin. This stuff tends to act as support resistance. Of course, the price was above it, so it's acting as support at this moment. And it also tends to act as a magnet. So we've seen it hit it here, break up, maximize the area down here, break up again, get attracted towards it once again, and then it got attracted towards it two more times over here. So, with this being said, showing that there is a lot of buying going on in this area right here, keeping the price up, excuse me, and Bitcoin continues to consolidate sideways and is currently building up a little bit of bullish momentum, wanting to break up higher because, as you guys can see, if you remember, it is consolidating very well in the more premium section of this overall channel that it's in. So continue consolidation and it should break up, in my opinion, higher chance of it breaking up than breaking down. It's just what makes sense right now. And then when you look at MSTR, it's sort of similar. It is currently the weekend, so it's currently not trading, but ended up forming a sideways consolidation pattern where we saw it break down into the more of a deep value supportive area, break up, come back down, and starts consolidating. And it is also currently in the premium section of this overall channel right here. It is also trying to fight the resistance of the 120 moving average, while the RSI is also more in the premium end of it as well. So it's the exact same thing as Bitcoin, where it's showing bullish momentum because this swing high is meeting up with this one. It's actually a little bit more, just slightly higher than it, but it's holding quite strongly. And it's also, again, not breaking down any, it would have broken down well before market close on Friday. It would have kept coming down and it would have easily not just retested this swing low, but also would have came down and tried to retest this swing low right here. But it's holding quite strong as well. So I do believe this stock is getting ready to move higher, and this is my next target area for this stock. If we can come up into this area, it will create a lot more bullish momentum in the background, making it ready to finally once again try to retest all-time highs back into the $500 range and start moving up higher from there. Of course, that can take a little bit of time. Um, strategy is continuing to acquire more Bitcoin, so their exposure is gaining even more, and they are not showing signs of slowing down. But when it comes to the chart itself, it looks very bullish. As you can see, we had a very clear, deep three-wave move down completed because we not just broke up higher than this swing high, but this swing high is higher than this one, and we're also seeing higher lows as well. So there is somewhat of a change in momentum building up, and it's to the bullish side, and we're just seeing the price fluctuate sideways a little bit, waiting for Bitcoin to do its thing because it's been trading sideways for a very long time now, and it's just getting ready to do its thing, right? So right now, because we do have resistance right here, I would not be surprised, just like in Bitcoin, if Bitcoin were to just come down, test that supportive lower part of the channel once again, then we can see MSTR do the same thing. So there is short term, and I believe MSTR is a bit more likely to do this, regardless of what Bitcoin does. But both of them, I expect to move higher. MSTR though, again, I do believe it's going to go up, and I believe it's going to go up throughout the end of February overall. I believe at the end of February will be much higher. We can break much higher. Although when it comes to short term, like for example, Monday or just early next week, I would not be surprised if this stock were to come down, try to retest these lower levels right here on the bottom of the channel, retest these lower levels, a little bit slight dip back into the green imbalance area right here, and then so I'm gonna stretch that out a little bit of a dip, trying to retest it once again, and then push up higher and then surpass these swing highs right here. I believe the momentum is there, and I believe it is building. We just gotta let this cool down a little bit, let it cool down, and then we can go higher. But just like in Bitcoin, it's gonna be, in my opinion, very short lived. I do believe that a lot of people are gonna miss out on this because I don't think it's gonna last long. No more than like 2 or 3 days of price coming down, super slight consolidation, and then start pushing up higher. So that's just the short term risk, and then recover shortly after. So short term risk, a little bit bearish to try to go back into support one more time. And then overall, I do believe the trend is higher. And we're going to start moving up a little bit higher than that. When it comes to percentages, though, yeah, I believe it has like a 5 to 6% downside potentially, and then break up higher. It can easily just start pushing up higher from here, and if it does come down, it can easily dip into it a little bit more. But again, regardless, same opinion. It's all gonna be very short lived, and I do believe we're gonna be in this area very soon. So that's just my opinion on MSTR. And again, it's kind of representing the same structure, just like in Bitcoin, where we saw that deep value area down here rises up, consolidates, and now just like MSTR, they're both mirroring each other close enough where we can easily see bullish momentum building in both of them. So yeah, that's just my opinion, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.